Hey, like this, Paula some too, just to set the tone. May everyone be doing well. So now let's get to the point of this video. I told you I would make this video about things that I've heard because of my choices, because of me being child free, people and their opinions and their projection and what they feel, which is okay to a certain extent. You can tell me your opinions. I would even love for you to ask me questions, but what you're not gonna do is try to tell me more about myself than I already know. Like, I know me more than anyone on this planet. I know myself more than anyone. I know my flaws. I know my traumas. I know my issues. I know the good. I know the bad. I know the darkness. I know the ugly. And I'm still learning too. No one can tell me really anything. And that's not to say that I don't want to accept feedback or criticism. That's a part of reflection. That's a part of growth. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to the choices that I am making with my body, you're not going to tell me more about me than me, okay? There was this person, we'll just call this person A. So A and I used to be friends. And when I use the word friends, I mean we just checked in on one another. We hung out every blue moon. They would sometimes share their different life stories with me or things that they wanted out of life with me. And I sometimes would share with them. And A used to cross boundaries. And when I say cross boundaries, I mean try to get in my business a lot of the times. But there's only so much that I would give to this person because they used to pry. And I don't like a person to pry. Like, let me naturally want to tell you things. Don't try to pull them out of me, because that's going to make me pull back. But anyway, I explained to A how I am child free and why I'm choosing a child-free lifestyle. And if you don't know, go watch the last video about me being child-free and the reasons why, just to give you the point. The number one reason why, the main overall reason, is because I will not and I do not want to be fully responsible for another human being. I don't. I am enough. I am enough to handle. I am enough to deal with. I am enough to heal. I am enough to grow. You know, I am enough to get through this life. I am enough for myself alone, okay? So I'm explaining this to A. A goes on to say, well, because I am a woman with ovaries, that I should procreate. I let them keep going. I let them say how they felt, their opinions and whatnot. And I just told them straight up my reasonings. And there's really nothing else to really say after that. I said what I said. I am standing on that hill, and no one can change my mind. So I just let them say what they say, right? Then they go on to say that I should give birth, and if I don't, that is me going against God's will. Now, I'm not going to get into religion in this video, because that's really a touchy subject. But just know which we all are spiritual beings, whether we are aware of it or not. But I'm on my spiritual journey. I'm a spiritual person. I am no longer religious. Years and years ago, I used to be religious, but now I know that everything is within me and God is around me. And I'll just say that and leave it there. So this person, I really don't know what they believe, but I know what I know for myself and what works best for me. But it sounds like that they are a religious person, and that's fine. But don't project your religion onto me. That's all I'm saying. Then they don't stop there. Then they go on to say, because I am a black woman, that I need to have black babies because of the genocide that is going on with black people and the things that we go through and this and that and the third. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, you just answered that particular statement or question, because why would I want to bring a seed of mine into this world, whether it's a boy, girl, a black person, melanated person, whatever word title we want to use, but a person that looks like me? Why would I want to bring that into the world, knowing the things that they could face, knowing the struggles, knowing the abuse and the prejudice, knowing the hate that they can receive just for what they look like? That, I don't even think I mentioned that on my last video, but yeah, that's another reason too. Like, there's so many reasons, okay? But they brought that up, so I was like, okay, yeah, that actually is another reason why not to have a child. Okay. Then this was the icing on the cake for me. Now, like I said, I don't mind people giving me their feedback. I don't mind people giving me their opinions as long as it's respectful. But what I cannot and will not deal with is with someone trying to diagnose me. A goes on to say that I am traumatized. Now, to play the devil's advocate, everyone is traumatized. So yes, they are correct. Everyone has trauma. Everyone has things they are dealing with and growing through and hurting, pain, all of these things. Everyone is going through that. People just are on different stages and phases. But just because I have trauma or things that I'm healing from, that's not the reason why that I don't want to have kids. I don't want to have kids, like I said, simply because I don't want to be fully responsible for another being that is a whole human that I have to not only give birth to, but also raise and also really worry about for the rest of my life, as long as there's breath in my body and breath in their body. So that whole trauma thing, it really pissed me off. That pissed me off because that was overstepping boundaries. That's true. However, that's not the reason why I don't want kids though. I'm not gonna lie, I had to block A. I blocked A and I unblocked A just so I can learn how to hear things even if I don't want to hear them, or even if I know it's ignorant. But just to hear people's ignorance and not get upset about it. But sometimes it does frustrate me when I am vulnerable with people and they try to change my mind or shame me or try to make me feel bad about my decisions. Like they said that I was going against God and basically in a nutshell saying that I'm not a real woman by saying because I have ovaries I should have a child, and because that I'm not, that I'm going against God. Okay, whatever. And then also, this was the overall kicker. And I know if you've seen other child-free videos, you have seen that people tell child-free people that they are going to what? Die alone. Now let's get into this dying alone thing, right? Now, before I knew or thought I knew what death was, of course, I used to be afraid of dying in general, not just alone, but just period. Now that I know that, I'm going to say for me, not going to speak for the world or other people, but for me, I know that I truly never die. I would truly never die. I transition, meaning once I do take my last breath, I would transition and move on into something else, to transform into something else, into something new. Whatever that is, wherever that is, that's what it will be. And so it shall. This whole concept that people die alone or people don't want to be alone, even if you have kids or you're married or you're not married and you don't have kids, every single one of us will take that last breath alone. And if that's hard for you to hear, I do apologize, but that is the truth. Even if someone is sitting there holding my hand as I take my last breath, hugging me, loving on me as I take my last breath, I am still taking that transition, taking that journey alone. However, alone is an illusion. Alone is not really being alone because I'm still with myself. Now I get what people are saying, you know, if you're older and you're in the home by yourself, most older people, they need to be looked after for different reasons. And who knows how that's going to be for me when I get older, in my 70s or 80s or even possibly my 90s. But I am willing to accept that because I have made that choice that I don't want children. Or I was looking, I don't even know about the marriage thing, but we'll get to that bridge if we get to that bridge. But for a fact, no children. But even if I did have children, hypothetically speaking, this will never happen. That does not mean that child is going to take care of me, going to be there for me, or even when I take that last breath, that doesn't mean that they're even going to be there at that particular moment. We don't know. Please stop telling people that they're going to die alone and have this lonely life. And that's not the case, because being alone and being lonely are two different things. I still have friends, y'all. I still have family. I'm going to make even more friends and have that soul family. I'm not cutting myself off from the world. I'm not isolating myself. I still have so much love to give, and I want to receive so much love. So that does not mean that I'm going to just be alone. No, I just don't want kids. That's it. That's it. I politely told A all of this, their beliefs and what they had going on. It really didn't matter what I felt for myself. It really didn't matter what was important to me, because I would have even been more open and okay with them asking me why, instead of trying to self-diagnose me and tell me this and tell me their opinions and make all these statements in ignorance. Ask me why. Get to know why. Try to understand me more and get to the root. But because of that, I have absolutely, and that's anybody. If anybody was to come to me and try to tell me, hey, you're going to change your mind. You're 29. You're young. You don't know what you want. When you meet this beautiful man, he's going to change your mind. When people do that, I immediately throw that guard up, because it's like you are disregarding everything that I have said, meaning you don't care anything about my voice or me as an entire human. And yes, it's that deep. If you truly care about people, a person in your life, if they truly care about you and they truly care about us, they will accept even if they don't agree, because we can agree to disagree and still be respectful and still move in love and still accept that that is what that person wants for their life. That's all I'm saying, because there's a lot of things that I don't agree with, but I have to accept it because it's their life. They have to figure things out on their own. They have to move the way that they want to move. I cannot do anything about that, and I will run myself crazy trying to. And honestly, I don't want to, because like I said, I am enough to deal with. I am enough to figure out. Now we're going to get to the bingo of it all. Okay, I'm not going to go down every bingo statement and opinion that people give child-free people, but just the ones that were said to me. So I came across this other lady, and we were at this restaurant. She had her grandchild on speakerphone, and like I said, y'all love kids. I love their voices. I love their laughs. I love their energy. So when they got off the phone, I was like, oh my goodness, she sounds so cute and so smart. And she was like, yes, this is my grandbaby. I love her so much. We talk every day. I just can't wait to always get off work and talk to her. And sometimes us grandparents love the grandkids more than we love the child. And I was like, yeah, I've heard that before. I really heard that. And I was like, that's so funny. And she was saying, well, yeah. She was like, do you have any kids? And I knew it was coming. I knew the question was coming, but I'm okay with that. You know, just ask me questions. It's cool. But this is what happened next. So I was like, no, I'm not really into having kids. I don't want any kids. It's just not for me. I love them though. And she was like, well, how old are you? And I said, I'm 29. She said, oh, you got plenty of time. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want them. You know, that's just a decision that I've made for myself, and I'm okay with my decision. And she was like, you don't want to give your mom any grandkids? And I'm thinking to myself, how do you even know if my mom alive? And she is, but I'm just saying, you don't know. And I didn't say this. Now, this is just what I'm thinking in my head. What I'm doing is just smiling and nodding and just saying, well, you know, that's just not for me. But in my head, I'm having a whole conversation with myself like, you don't even know my life, lady. Like, chill. But she said, well, you got to at least give her just one. And it's this just one thing. Honey, it's not a Lay's potato chip. It's not a piece of candy that you just take out the bag and you just eat one piece. This is an entire human being. Even if you have one child, it's still a lot. That's still a lot for me and to me, in my opinion. So yeah, so this whole just one thing, let's get rid of that. If I say I'm child free, that means zero. That means negative, zero. Nada. Never. Ever. Okay? But again, I let her speak, and we end up ending the conversation because I was done eating and she was also getting on another call. So I went about my day. I was just like, wow, people really want other people to have children. And I'm questioning myself and just thinking like, why? Like, why is it such a huge deal for people to have children? Just figuring out and trying to figure out where does this all stem from and root from? Because even when back in the day when I thought I wanted children, I've never told other women that they need to have children or you're gonna change your mind. I've never ever, and I'm seriously sitting here thinking like I've never said that because it never felt a need to say that. For one, I didn't even have them, or was I even thinking about having them? But even if I was, at one point in my life, I just never felt called to tell another person what they should do with their bodies. That just never, yeah. So to me, there's a lot of group thinking going on there. Most people don't think for themselves, and this is no shade or no, this is not me being ugly. This is the truth there. And this is not just with being child free. This is with a lot of different things that people group think on. Like marriage is another thing that people feel every woman should want. Like, I truly don't want to get married. Now, does that mean that I want to close myself off from love? No. I still want love. I still want to receive love. But the whole traditional marriage, the whole you play this role, I play this role, I'm not up for all that. If you see me, a younger woman, saying these things, most people will look at me crazy like, what do you mean you want to be married? Like, maybe I should make a video on the reasons why that I'm just like, because it's just so many different great reasons, unfortunate reasons why I don't want to get married. And the one main reason is because I'm not settling for nothing. I'm not settling for Nathan just to say that I have a husband, that I have this body, that I have this, man or male in my corner. No, I'm not doing it. But back to the group thing, that's what a lot of people do because it is the norm, because we see most people doing these things. We think that is the path that we all should take, when no. All our paths are going to be different. They're going to be unique to us and to what we want. And that's okay. But that does not mean that I'm not fulfilled, or that I'm not great, or that I'm not enough because I don't want kids and I don't want to be a wife. Now, you may really look at me crazy for that, but that's okay. I'm okay with my decisions. Like I said in my last video, the romance part may change, but what I know is I'm not putting up with nothing. And when I say I'm not putting up with nothing, I mean that. I'm not putting up with nothing. Nothing. If it does not serve me, if it does not pour into me and does not lift me up, if it activates my nervous system, I'm not putting up with it. I'm not. And I just want to make a disclaimer. This is not coming from a place of hurt. This is coming from a place of love for myself. This is coming from a place of awareness because of the experience that I've been through. And I would be ignorant to repeat the same cycles and same patterns, knowing that me truly working on my healing, working on being completely whole with myself. And I know that other humans have to do that as well. And I'm not going to be responsible for if they do that or not, because it's not on me. It's on me to make sure that I am whole, and it is on other people to make sure that they are whole. My healing journey is so important to me, and I will not allow anyone to activate my nervous system again. Like, I'm just not. I won't. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. Not too long of a story, but just a few more things that people have said to me thus far after making that video, and I'm sure I will hear more things from people. Another thing I want to say is that I want my life to be as easy as it possibly can be. And I'm not saying that challenges won't come. I'm not saying hardships or pain won't come. I know that's a part of the journey. That's a part of life. But it's more so about how I deal with it. But what I'm saying is, if I can avoid and prevent things that will be a stress in my life, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And before I end this video, I am open to love. I am open to receive love, mainly and truly from platonic relationships. But if my thoughts or my mind or the energy does change and I do come across meeting a romantic partner, cool. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to put up with less just to have a quote unquote romance. I'm not doing it. But what I also know is, because I am celibate and choosing to embark on this celibate journey, that a lot of people don't want to even date me or be with me because I'm choosing that lifestyle right now. So that's another reason I'm like, well, that's not the main reason. That's just like a small portion reason, knowing to be real with myself and see how the dating culture is now, that you're not screwing, you're not sucking, then they feel that you are not valuable. Why would I even want to be in a freaking room with people who feel like that, or men who feel like that? I don't even want you to have access to me because of my choices. The reason that I'm choosing this celibacy journey, I am honing in on the inner me, like keeping this energy as at peace as I possibly can, not being attached to people, because I get attached and can get attached so quickly, even if I'm not having sex. So just imagine if I am having sex, of course I'm going to get attached to you. Like, that's a soul tie. So I'm also not out here casually dating. Casually nothing. Okay, everything will be intentional. Everything is intentional for me. Yes, I will allow it to flow, but with intentions. And if it does not serve me, I just cannot do it any longer. I am here. I am open to give and to receive love, and to be love, and to show love, and just to move in love. And I'm not perfect. I'm also make a video too about my emotional turmoils, and just kind of airing my stuff out, my shadows, my dark side, that quote unquote negative parts and pieces of me. They are there. And I'm working on watering those parts of me and nurturing those parts of me and bringing those parts from the grave and back alive, and just loving on them. So, yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I love you. And thank you so much for the love that I got on the last video about being child free. And just knowing that a lot of people feel the way that I feel. Not saying that I want an echo chamber, because I don't. Because I did get one comment that said that I'm gonna die alone, and it wasn't mean or anything, but basically that they seen so many people die alone and it's sad. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I've seen a lot of people in the nursing home with kids, and I'll end it there. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Peace.